Welcome to another amazing episode of Raising Private Money. I'm your host, Jay Conner, also known as the Private Money Authority, and I'm so excited that you have decided to join in here on the show today. We're around 800 episodes right now, and we always have excellent guests, but today is different. Today's different. Today we have an amazing guest on the show. Here on the show, Raising Private Money, we talk about how to raise private money without ever having to ask for money. Well, listen, put your seatbelt on. I hope it's on if you're driving in the car anyway. My guest has raised in excess of $200 million in private money. Do you think my friend and guest could share a little bit of insight as to how you can raise private money for your real estate deals like super fast and easy? You better believe he can. He's a dear friend of mine. We're in a mastermind together, known each other for a while, and we've got the same core values. It's all about leading with a servant's heart, making a difference and an impact in other people's lives. And you know, when you do that, you just don't have to worry about yourself. Well, my friend and guest today, he's a retired Navy test pilot, real estate professional. He's the owner of what's called Seven Figure Flipping, and he's also the host of an amazing podcast, which is called Seven Figure Flipping Podcast. And that's where he leads one of the house flipping and wholesaling mentoring, or one of the biggest house flipping and wholesaling mentoring groups in the world, literally in the world. Well, just a few years ago, talk about putting it on high speed. Just a few years ago, he was stuck just flipping one or two houses a year, and he was doing everything himself. But in a short period of time, he built a systematized and automated business that now runs totally without him. His wholesaling and flipping company, they're doing over 60 deals a year now throughout the Southeast. And let me tell you, you are about to learn a lot and be inspired by my dear friend, Mr. Bill Allen, right after this.
If you're a real estate investor and are wondering how to raise and leverage private money to make more profit on every deal, then you're in the right place. On Raising Private Money, we'll speak with new and seasoned investors to dissect their deals and extract the best tips and strategies to help you get the money, because the money comes first. Now here's your host, Jay Conner.
Bill, I just can't tell you how excited I am to have you here on Raising Private Money. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Jay, thanks for having me. I think that's probably the best introduction I've ever gotten. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to share all the secrets. So I just want to have Jay next to me at my office to be my hype man. It sounds so good. So thank you for that.
Well, you are certainly welcome, Bill. But man, when I've got a guest on like you, I just want to, say, thank you, Lord, for introducing me to Bill Allen. You are just a wonderful human being. You're delivering such a huge impact out there into the world. And it's just a pleasure and a blessing to be able to call you my friend. So let's go ahead and dive in. So listen in, folks, for those of you that are tuned in here to the show, this guy right here, first of all, if you're looking to raise private money for your real estate deals, I'm the Private Money Authority. This guy is the authority of the Private Money Authority, if you know what I'm talking about. Raised over $200 million. And he knows all about raising private money for single family houses. He knows even more about raising money for syndication for his multifamily and his apartment deals that he's got going on in transactions. So I want y'all to get ready. And besides that, if you are listening in and you're interested in being a passive investor and you don't want to negotiate deals and find deals and oversee deals, and you just want to sit back and get high rates of return in a safe and secure way, Bill's your guy too. He's got investment opportunities where you can invest with him and just have, totally passive experience. And let Bill and his team do all the work, and you don't have to be out there, running and grunting, and just let them do the work and you get a high rate of return. So whether you're looking to raise private money or be a passive investor, Bill is the guy. First question, Bill, and you can answer this any way you want to because it could take an hour to answer it. And that is, how are you qualified to do what you do?
Well, great question. I think it's number one, experience. So the challenge with saying experience and giving that answer is that people without experience think that they can't raise private money or any money, or they have to save up a bunch of money to get started in real estate deals. And that's not true either. So what I really think it is building a high level of trust and being myself. So, and what I mean by that is when you look back into your history along your whole life, whether it was growing up, sports, job that you had maybe in college, there's times of your life where people come into your life and you build high levels of trust with those people. And very early on, when I didn't have any experience in real estate, I had high levels of trust with family, with friends, with people in my warm network that believed in me regardless of what I was going to do. So what I did was I had to transfer my trust from the Navy and the military and my family and other people that have seen me succeed in life in different areas, transfer it to this new thing that I was going to do called real estate. And so some of my early private money lenders, they were, friends, family. There were people in my squadron in the military that had some money that wanted to kind of partner with me financially. I had an early partner who was a 50-50 JV partner who provided all the money and I did all the work. We did the first 6 deals of mine together after I did a couple on my own. So it was scaling the business. So, and that what that did was that gave me a level of experience in real estate also that I could now kind of continue to build those people up. So I would say experience, but really it's trust. I think trust and being myself. Like I don't say certain things that other people say. I don't dress the way that other people think I should dress. When I'm talking to a private money lender, I'm myself. If you saw me in the grocery store, you saw me on my farm, you saw me at an event, you're going to see the same guy. And that I think that continues to build trust. So in short, I think the answer of why I'm qualified to do what I do or tell the story is number one, I've raised a lot of money. I've helped a lot of people. I've helped hundreds of other people raise money. But I think I can just be myself and build a level of trust with people and figure out what they want on a consultative approach. I think we have that in common, which I really like.
So I want everybody to understand my question and Bill's answer. So when I asked Bill, how are you qualified to do what you do? What I was asking him that he answered was, how are you qualified to raise all this private money? How do you go about raising private money? He just answered that. I want to drill down a little bit, Bill. Part of your answer, you were speaking to someone that may be listening here to the show that is new, maybe has never raised private money before. And I know you've gotten this question. I've gotten this question a lot of times. And you answered it, but I want to drill down on it a little bit more because it's such a common question that we get from newer real estate investors. The question they ask is, who in the world is going to loan me private money or invest in my deals? And I've never done a deal before in my life. Who is going to do that with me? What's your answer to that, Bill?
Yeah, so you said 2 different words. You said, who is going to loan me the money to invest? And then you said invest in my deals. So I much rather say invest in my deal versus loan me money, because I feel like, when I was getting started, I had my aunt. So my aunt was, a couple of my dad's brothers and sisters were investing with me very early on when I was kind of growing my business. We were doing 2 or 3 houses at a time. And then I had this one aunt who was a little bit older. It was my dad's oldest sister. And she said to me, and my family growing up, they called me Billy Y. So longer story, but my middle name is Yazvac. So I'm Billy Y. So my initial for my middle name. And she said, Billy Y, if you need some money, I'll loan you some money. And I had to take a step back and say, like, this isn't charity. This is not you loaning me money. This is you investing in my opportunity. I'm making a lot of money with, your brothers and sisters. They're making a lot of money with me. And so if you want to be involved with what I'm doing, the mission that I'm on, my goal is to help people grow their passive income, then come along with me and invest with me. But I don't need a loan. I'm asking you if you want to join me in this opportunity that I have that's much better than the other things that you might be investing in right now. So the words matter, I think. Just be careful. Like if you're thinking, why would anybody loan me money? And I hear this a lot of time. Why would anyone give me money? Like, nobody's giving you money. If I give you money, I don't expect to get it back. I give my kids money when they ask for toys and things like that, right? They don't expect it back. Like, I want people to invest in opportunity. So the first thing that you have to do, even if you're brand new, is number one, believe in yourself. So believe in yourself that you're confident that you can accomplish this task, this goal that you want to do. The fact that if you bought a house to flip and you fixed it up and you sold it, that you are going to be successful, you are going to make money. Because if you don't believe that, then your investors won't believe that. So my answer to this question is there's lots of people out there that would invest with you. If you have a better opportunity and a better vehicle than what they're getting, if they're not happy with where their money is, this is usually the case. The ups and downs of the stock market are driving them crazy. They don't want to get on this Bitcoin roller coaster and crypto and things like that. Like, where else are they going to put their money? If it's in the bank earning less than 1%, or maybe it's in a money market savings account right now earning 4.5%, or maybe they got it in a CD doing 2.5%. Well, if you gave them 8, I bet they'd be really happy. And people that you go to when you're getting started and don't have a track record are people that already trust you. They trust you from the past. They're in your world, and you transfer that trust to this new opportunity. But you got to believe in yourself. And I think most people that say that, they're hesitant, they're scared, it seems a little risky, and they don't believe in themselves yet. Like Jay, me and you probably believe in them more than they believe in themselves. So believe in yourself because you've been successful in the past at lots of things. Transfer that success to this new thing. Find a mentor. There's a lot of things we can discuss there, but and those people will come alongside of you. But it's an opportunity. Like, if you are going out looking for a loan, it sounds desperate, feels desperate. No one's going to say that.
Bill, I love the reframing. I want everyone here tuning into the show, don't miss what Bill just said. Bill said, and of course, we know words are important. Words are not only important to who's listening to what you say, but words are even more important based on what's coming out of your head. Because what comes out of your mouth is a reflection, of course, of what you're thinking about yourself. So what Bill said was, don't talk about somebody loaning you money. They're investing in your deals, right? Don't think about somebody giving you money. Because if somebody's giving you money, that's a gift, right? They're investing. Now, I tell you what I love about that framing of not loaning, not giving, as far as words goes, but investing. What I love about that, Bill, is that when you're talking with someone else about the opportunity to invest, when we say loan me money, the focus is on us, the borrower, not them. When we say give me money, the focus is on us, not them. But when we talk about them investing, then the focus is on their benefit, their return on their investment versus on us. So that way of looking at raising capital for your real estate deals, it puts the focus on the benefit of the investor. If we're going to talk about leading with a servant's heart, then that's how you lead with a servant's heart. You've got their benefit in mind. So I want to talk for a moment about how does somebody get to having the confidence and believing in themselves if they don't have the confidence and believing in themselves? Now, one thing you said was transfer that trust and confidence from your past experience into what you are now doing, a real estate investor. Any other ideas come to mind? I sure have one.
Yeah, there's a couple, and I'd love to hear yours too, because I always will take Jay Connor's wisdom all the time. The first thing that I would say is a lot of times it's easy to think about what's happened recently in your life, but it's hard to look back sometimes. Like, the rearview mirror is cloudy a lot of times. So I would go back in time and just start like thinking about all the different places that you've won, all the things that you've been successful at. Usually we spend more time thinking about where we failed and what's wrong with us, and then all the things that are good with us. So one thing is just think back in time a little bit, and then I like to stack wins. So I have a stack of like thank you cards and notes that people have sent me and really cool stuff. Like, anybody sends me anything, I have the stack of it in my office. And whenever anybody's feeling like I'm feeling down because somebody's like crushing me on an ad that we have, or said something horrible about me, I'll just sit down and like read through those thank you cards just to kind of build myself back up. And so I would stack these wins from the past. So some things that you've done in the past that you have been successful on. Maybe it's been a little while, and you just have to build up your confidence. The second thing I would say is have people around you and surround yourself with people that do lift you up and believe in you. So that might be a mastermind or mentorship program where there's other people that are like-minded, because most of the people in your life probably don't support you or might think that you're crazy. They love you, but they're like, you want to leave your job to do real estate full time? Like, what are you're raising money on? You're asking people for money and things like that. What's going on? And so you got to have people around you that believe in you, that can lift you up and believe in you before you believe in yourself. I have plenty of people that come through, like military professionals, nurses. We've had some doctors. We have people that have been in a really successful career for 10 or 15 or 20 years of their life. And they come into real estate and they think they're a newbie, like they're brand new. They're not brand new. Like they bring all their experience from life and business and their job into this new thing. The vehicle is new, but there's so much deep experience and wisdom that comes with them that can easily be transferred to a new skill like real estate. They just need to get a little bit of experience. So bring some confidence, like believe in yourself, and having a good hype man like Jay next to you to introduce you also helps.
There you go, Bill. Well, true. I mean, you and I practice what you just preached, and that is surrounding yourself with like-minded people in masterminds. You and I are in a mastermind. We've got a lot of people cheering us on. Masterminds give everyone an opportunity to give back. So in addition to surrounding yourselves with those types of people, I would add another level to that, and that is be laser focused and actually work with an individual that has already plowed the ground, has already made hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes. Hello, they knows what they're doing. So get you a coach or a mentor like Bill Allen that you can work with, particularly if you're starting out, right, on the new side, that can give you the actionable steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, whether you want to do wholesaling, I mean, Bill's himself and his team, I mean, they coach on wholesaling, they coach on flipping, all that. I mean, and then when you do that, you can leverage that relationship. So what do I mean by leverage relationship? One question I get all the time is, well, even if I've got all the confidence and if I've got, the belief and the trust in myself, who's going to loan me money if I've never done a deal, right? Well, when you're working with someone such as Bill, you can leverage that relationship and say, and you can leverage and talk about, well, how you and your business partner have done X number of deals or had, whatever successes. So Bill, let's move forward here. So let's say that this individual is this new real estate investor has got the confidence, has been trained, has been coached, knows what's going on, knows what kind of offers to make, and et cetera, and is looking to raise and attract capital. What are some actionable thoughts, steps? Where do they start? Now, I tell people all the time exactly what you just said. You got to get the mindset right. You got to own the real estate between your ears. So all that's in place. How do you start? What are the actionable steps from your experience to actually how to start attracting the capital?
Yeah, there's a couple. So I'll give you a couple of like tactical pieces of advice and things that I do. So I have this thing called the investor matrix. So I build out what I like to call this investor matrix. And kind of back to what I was talking about of going back in your past, the easiest way to do it is at the top, just grab a sheet of paper, iPad or something like that, notes app on your phone. And what I do is I go back to all the different phases of my life. So in the very beginning, go back to, when I went to high school is probably some of the earliest, but you go back to, I start with family, put like a column for family. And then maybe high school. So I went to 2 different high schools. I went to high school called Centennial High School in Maryland. I went to high school called River Hill High School. So I'd have a different column for each of those. And then I went to Georgia Tech. I went to Georgia Tech in Atlanta. I was there for 5 years. I rated Georgia Tech. And while I was there, I was in a fraternity and I did Navy ROTC and I played soccer. So I have relationships in all those areas. And then after that, I went in the Navy. I went to grad school up at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So I put that. And then I went to lots of different squadrons. And then I started in real estate, 7-figure flipping. So I have columns for all these different areas of my life. And then what I do inside this matrix is I start listing out the names of people that I had relationships during that time with. And so family, I can write all of my family down, like, close relatives and family. And then I have inside of college, like my soccer team. And once I start, the thing is, it was a long time ago. It's like over 20 years ago. But every time I write somebody down, I'll remember some other name of another friend or somebody else that I had, a relationship with at that time. And we may not have talked in a while. And so I build out this matrix. So I have the columns of times in my life, and then I list names. And some of these names will have 20 or 30 names down when I get done with it. And the longer that you spend on this, the better. You can build out a huge potential investor matrix this way. And then what I like to do is this is like taking it another level, is I rate them from 1 to 5. So a 1 would be somebody who, like, I don't have a lot of trust with, we don't have a deep relationship. We might not still be in touch. Or I already know that they're in like financial distress. Specifically, I've talked to them recently. They're in financial distress, and I know it. Because there's a lot of people that have money that you don't know they have money, okay? I'm just going to put that right there. You can park it for later. Like, there's a lot of people that have money that don't tell you they have money. And the 5s are like, I know they have money. We got a good relationship. This is going to be an easy conversation once I start talking about it. And so then I can look at my matrix and say, where do I want to spend the most time, in what area and what bucket? And to take it a step further, my next step is I'll reach out to those people, and I won't say, hey, I have a real estate deal. Do you want to invest? I just say, hey, Mike, I haven't talked to you in a while. Just been thinking of you. Just wanted to send you a message to see what's going on in your life. Could you give me an update? Maybe it's an email. Maybe it's a text message. Maybe it's a phone call. And the law of reciprocity says they're going to ask me about what I've got going on. And I'll say, hey, the flying is awesome. I'm having so much fun in the Navy. But what's really fun is I just started flipping houses. And I just did a project where my investor made a bunch of money. So the most fun I'm having is making other people money along with me. And I don't say anything else. I just leave that there, and I start planting those seeds. So that's a long-term game where you can kind of tell people about it individually or as a group, building a newsletter, putting some of those people on. Maybe you put the 20 people you went to college with on an email thread together and say, hey, haven't talked to you guys in a while. This is what I got going on. Can you guys give me an update on what you got going on? And next thing you know, in there say, I'm so excited to work with my private money lending partners as I start flipping houses. And then you just leave it there. And then the second piece, so that's my investor matrix that I love to teach. I love to do that. I love to build it out. Anytime I'm doing a big deal, I keep building that out. And then the second one is social media. I love to use social media. If you follow me on Facebook or you've seen any of my stuff, you've probably heard me telling stories about previous private lenders and how they've made money or pay their family. You've probably heard me say something like, my private money lending partners are just like you, friends, family, people I went to college with, people I was with in the military, just normal, average people that invest passively and don't have to deal with any of the tenants, toilets, flips, projects, problems. I might tell a story about a problem and say my money lender was in Aruba while I was dealing with this problem, things like that, and say, hey, if you ever want to have a conversation about this, just send me a message. I don't make an offer. I don't put rates and terms and all that stuff. All the things that you're not supposed to do, I just tell stories online. And that's marketing. Marketing is telling stories. So I'm just putting it out there. And I will tell you, regardless of where you are in your money raising career, if you're just getting started or you've raised hundreds of millions of dollars, if every single person that you know doesn't know that they can invest with you, you haven't gone deep enough into your current network.
Bill, have you ever heard anybody say that desperation's got a smell to it?
Totally. Totally.
The reason I ask you that question, because I say it all the time, the reason I ask you that question is I don't want our listeners to miss what you just shared. There's a big takeaway. There's a big takeaway under the surface of what you just shared. And that big takeaway is, did you notice that Bill, in what he just shared in his approach, was very soft, and he wasn't trying to pitch a deal when he's planting a seed. If you're not driving a car, there's a writer downer right there. There's a writer downer right there. Don't plant seeds, or don't try to plant seeds, and you're pitching a deal. For goodness sakes, that's why I say desperation has a smell to it. I've seen it time and again. New capital raisers for the real estate deals, they're out pitching deals, and the people they're talking to don't even know what an investor or a private lender is, right? And I know you've heard me talk about it, Bill. That's why I always leave with my private lender teacher hat on, right? And people say all the time, so Jay, I'm afraid of rejection. And of course, what do I say to them? How can you be rejected if you're not asking anybody for anything, right? So I love your approach, Bill. Same as mine. Planting seeds, telling stories, and I love what you just said. So here is a quote from Bill Allen: "If you have contacts and connections, and they don't know what you're doing, you haven't gone deep enough." In fact, I think I'm going to get that printed up and frame it and put it right here in my office. That's fantastic.
Hey, Jay, you said something about the softness and rejection. So I would say growing up, just so everybody knows, I'll be very direct here. I was a short kid growing up. My kids are going to be short. I feel horrible. I have 3 boys. So being a short boy is not the best thing when you get to like high school and college and things like this, right? Especially when you start getting interested in the ladies. And so I was always like afraid of rejection just throughout my life. Like it's definitely a fear of mine. So I think a lot of what you'll see, like high performance, being a test pilot, being the #1 guy in the Navy, like wanting to be the best at everything that I do, is probably stems from that feeling, that insecurity, right? So I definitely have this fear of rejection. So if you have that, I have like the best like closing line for you in a conversation with people that has brought in millions of dollars for me, and I know it will for you too. And you won't feel like there's ever a chance of rejection in this line, okay? So if I'm having that conversation, I talk to somebody and I send them that message and I say, let me know what you're doing. And they ask me what I'm doing. Or I'm at a networking event and I have a deal. Like I have an apartment deal that I'm going to be raising money for here coming up. I got to raise $10 million. So you better believe I'm going to have to be reaching out to my warm network. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm going to be sending emails to my list. But in that conversation, I'm going to tell them about the deal. I'm going to say, hey, maybe it's my first flip. Let's say it's my first flip. I say, hey, you know what I'm really excited about is I have this project that I'm looking at in Spring Hill, Tennessee. That's where I live. Spring Hill, Tennessee. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And we're going to flip it. We're going to buy it. We're going to fix it up. And we're going to sell it for a profit. And my favorite part about it is I get to bring in an investor, somebody who can bring the capital to the deal and make money without ever doing anything. They just bring the money. I'll do all the work. I'm in a program. They're teaching me all the ins and outs. I'm really excited. The margins are really good. We're buying it for $150,000. I got to put 20 grand into it, and we're going to sell it for 250 grand. And so, I'm looking for potential private money lenders on these houses. So, and this is the line. If you, we pay an interest rate return. It's really great. If you know anybody who you think might be interested in that, would you let me know? And if I'm talking about apartment deal, we got this apartment. It's 18% returns annualized year over year. And I'm talking to somebody, and we're having a conversation. Maybe I'm at Thanksgiving dinner. I'm at Christmas. I'm at Easter, and I'm talking to my aunt, and I say, hey, it's gonna be 18% returns. If you know anybody who would be interested in those kind of returns, would you let me know? And so what that does is it gives them a couple options, right? There's no rejection. I cannot be rejected because I didn't say, would you be interested in investing in that deal with me? Because you put them on the spot. There's only a yes or a no. Even if they say yes, they might not mean yes. They just might not want to hurt your feelings. That is a very bad way to position yourself in the conversation. If you say, do you know somebody who might be interested in investing in that deal? Would you let me know? If you say that, they will, 9 times out of 10, this is the answer I get. I'd be interested in doing that. And they'd be like, oh, really? Oh, that would be awesome. Like, I had no idea you were in a position to do that. That sounds fantastic. Well, what else would you like to know about the deal? Or they might say, So that's option one. I'm interested, and that's what I get like 9 times out of 10. They don't feel pressured. They don't have to say yes or no. And then the other time I usually get, oh, I actually do know somebody who'd be interested in that. How should I connect you? And then sometimes they go, oh, okay, yeah, I'll let you know. But either way, for the close where you don't say, would you be interested? You say, if you know somebody. There's all 3 ways, win-win-win for me. There's 0 chance of rejection. So that's my favorite line to close any conversation, because I'm not a big networker. I'm not the best in-person, one-on-one kind of guy. I really like, I don't know. I'm not an extrovert. And so that has helped me a ton, and I hope it helps you.
So I hope you heard what Bill just shared. And let me tell you why I can endorse and tell you what he just shared works. Because it worked for me. My very first private lender that invested $500,000 with me, my very first private lender that invested $500,000 with me, that's exactly what I did. I told Wayne at church, I said, I need your help. When you run across somebody that's looking for a high rate of return safely and securely and get insane high rates of return, would you refer them to me? He and his wife became my first $500,000 private lender within 24 hours. And I didn't have a deal attached to it. There no desperation here. I didn't have a deal attached to it. Now, I put that money to work in less than 2 weeks. I bet your bottom dollar on that one right there, right? And I had 2 deals in the wings over here that I wouldn't let my mouth tell them about it because I didn't want them to sound desperate. But let me tell you, folks, what Bill just shared with you, take to heart. It works. Bill, what are you excited about today? And what are you passionate? What are you working on? I just heard you've got this $10 million raise you're doing on a project coming up. Tell folks what you're excited about, what you're working on, and how they can get involved with you or learn more about it to see if they're interested in getting involved with you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. The hard part about apartment buildings is you never actually know what's going to happen. So once you go under due diligence, it's a long period of time. And so we're renegotiating a contract, but I was all set up and ready in January to raise $10 million because we have this $25 million deal that we're buying in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But right now it's kind of, I'm not sure, like I'm ready to raise it. I got another apartment up in Michigan that we're doing the due diligence on and underwriting that I'll probably have to raise $1 million or $2 million for. And then right next door to the office building I'm in, I had a meeting this morning about it. I want to build a pickleball facility. So I love pickleball, and I want to build this large indoor pickleball facility here for a business. And so there's probably $3 million to raise for that deal, where people will stay in for equity and get a fixed rate of return as well. So exciting stuff. And then I also raise another thing that I do. I have these houses in Kentucky that we buy, we fix up, and we sell on owner finance. And that's all my apartments are usually like depreciation deals for people that need tax write-offs or appreciation deals for net worth growth. And I have these deals in Kentucky that we do where it does a fixed rate of return monthly. So it brings cash flow for the people that want cash flow. And that's usually somewhere around 8 or 9%. And we have a pretty fixed business model there. So that's, I have a lot of people, I call it the real estate annuity. So a lot of people, they want that annuity money, that monthly payment. And I can do that on real estate for a few years. So that's been a lot of fun. And if you're an advanced investor, my advice to you as you get going and you're raising a bunch of money, you have the skill, and people are coming to you to ask advice about what to do with their money and where to place it, is you find a couple different places that you can put it. So what I'm capable of doing now, which is really cool in my business, is anybody that comes in that's interested in placing capital, I have an outlet for them in one of my businesses, whether it's monthly payments, whether it's annual with our fix and flip, whether it's 5-year, 7-year deals and net worth growth and depreciation with apartments. So we have kind of 3 different buckets that we put the investors in. So as you grow and scale the skill of raising money and people come to me for advice, I can put them in different buckets. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited, Jay, we did a challenge teaching people how to raise money. So I'm excited to have people that are in our community. My favorite thing to talk about is like you. I feel like we're we're very alike in this. I love talking about money. Like I could talk about it every day, anytime. I was tired before this podcast. I'm ready to run through a wall right now, like the Kool-Aid guy. I love it. So those are some things that I'm excited about. The best way to get a hold of me is probably on Facebook or Instagram. So Instagram is at Bill Allen REI. And then I have a YouTube channel with the same name. And then Facebook is, we have Seven Figure Flipping and then me personally. So it's where I spend most of my time is those two areas. So yeah, that's kind of how you get a hold of me and what I'm excited about helping other people learn this skill because I think it's really needed. And Jay, you do an awesome job of that. I'm really thankful for your mentorship coming on my show and my podcast and teaching me a bunch of stuff. And all the times we've talked, it just, sharpens my axe and helps me too. So that's kind of what I'm excited about this year.
Thank you so much for sharing, Bill. So listen, you're interested in getting a nice rate of return on your passive money. Bill Allen's got a spot for you. You want monthly income, 8%, 9%, for goodness sakes. You can go down to the money market and get, a 0.75% if you want to. But Bill, he's got a program for you. And let me tell you something. As we talked about at the beginning of this show, it comes down to trust and who you're doing business with. And there's not another person on the planet, I'm telling you, that I would trust my liquid money, as Trump says, liquid gold, my investment capital, nobody else that I would than with Bill Allen. Bill, God bless you. Look forward to seeing you at one of our upcoming mastermind meetings. And listen, folks, to get in touch with Bill, all of his contact information we've got right here in the show notes. So there you have it. Bill, God bless you. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Jay. Me too. See you.
All right. There you have it. Another amazing episode of Raising Private Money. I'm so excited you decided to join us. And if you were inspired by this episode, be sure to rate, like, review, share, follow, so you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure and click that bell so we can now notify you of the next episode. I'm looking forward to seeing you right here on the next episode of Raising Private Money.
Are you feeling inspired by the knowledge you gained in this episode? Then head over to jconner.com/moneyguide. That's jconner.com/moneyguide and download your free guide that shares 7 reasons why private money will skyrocket your real estate investing business right now. Again, that's jconner.com/moneyguide to get your free guide. We'll see you next time on Raising Private Money with Jay Conner.